So for this logo, which we used in our previous example, I'm just going to add a very simple design element, which is just a row or a circle of circles essentially around here. So there's a few techniques and a few things we're going to have to do. First of all, we're going to make a circle. So I'm just going to pick my circle tool over on the side. You can do this with any shape, but I'm just going to pick the circle, and I want to make sure that this is because this will make an oval if I'm not careful. Click on your selection tool, and then right up in here you can make sure that these are the same width and height. Sorry, right here, width and height, and they're close, 380 and 361, so it's not a perfect circle. So I'm just going to go 360 here, and I'm going to change this one to 360. There we go. Oh, 360. Oh, sorry, I have to unlock the proportions here. 360 and 360. Good, and I'll just lock those proportions. And now it's a perfect circle. So I'm just going to drag this to make sure that it covers the entire logo so that I know my circle is big enough. And it does, so that's good. If it didn't cover the whole circle, as long as you click Control and then drag out the corners, it'll still keep it as a perfect circle. It'll keep the ratio of this 384 or 384 the same. So as long as you press Control, it'll keep the proportions of this circle the same. Okay, but mine were good. So I'm just going to drag it off just so we can see what's happening here. It doesn't matter what color this circle is. If you wanted to get rid of the fill on this circle just so you see the outline of it, that's totally fine too. You can click up here to your Edit Objects Colors, and when you go there, if you want the fill, you can just say no fill, and then there's nothing inside it. Maybe that helps you. It really makes no difference. We're going to be deleting this circle anyway. Now I need to make another circle, and I want to make it a smaller circle, say about that size. And on this circle, I need to make sure it's a perfect circle, so I have to click up here on my selection and transform. And now I can make sure, it is actually a perfect circle in there. Excellent, good. Okay, I have this circle right up in here, and what I want to do is actually, and I can do this now or later, but eventually I know I'm going to want this circle to be the exact same color as this letter, as these letters here. So what I can do just to make sure it matches exactly is, as long as I have this selected, the circle selected, there's this little eyedropper tool down here, and then you can pick any color you want from, if I had a picture up here and there was a specific color from that picture I wanted to match, I could use that. But here it's just going to be very simple. I'm just going to click on my eyedropper, select this. Oh, I had it selected. Select the circle, select the eyedropper, and click on whatever color you want, and then it will just change it for you up here. So now those are the exact same color. Okay, so now I've got my little circle and I've got the big circle, and I'm going to select them both. So I pressed Shift and then I right-clicked on both circles. Now here's the beautiful little trick. It'll happen so quick. I'm going up to Extensions, Generate from Path, and what I want to do is scatter. I like scatter better than pattern along path for this particular one. So I'm going to click Scatter, and make sure the stretch spaces to fit skeleton length is on there, and I'll show you why in a moment. Click Live Preview, and look at what's happened is this circle has now scattered entirely around this circle. I just want to show you what happens if you don't click the stretch spaces to fit skeleton length. You end up getting often two overlapping images in there, which you don't really want to do. So I'm going to make sure that I click stretch spaces to fit the skeleton length, and then it will automatically have nice spaces equidistant from each other and no overlapping spaces. And so as long as Live Preview is there, if you don't click Live Preview, you're not going to really know what's happening until you click Apply, but if you do Live Preview, it'll show you. Now we're going to say Apply, and once that has been applied, I can close this down, and now I will have a circle aside from this original path. And I can just delete that path if I want, I don't need it, and then I can create these circles around here. In this particular case, probably I made my circle just a little bit small, but if I click on this Control in the corner, I can stretch this circle out a little bit more. And again, I can play with this a little bit more. Maybe I wanted my circles in the end, I might think my circle should be a little bit smaller, I can go back and repeat all those steps if I want to create it just a little bit differently in there. But so there's just one simple way. Now I have this simple logo, but it has this added text. Now the one thing I think in this case, because I manually manipulated this circle around here, and I would like this word beam, or this logo in here, beam, to be spaced equally around the circle. So what I have to do is I have to go into the alignment button, which is right up here, and I'm going to click align. The original logo underneath here, you can see that the beam and the Raquel are not actually lined up as one object, so I actually need to make sure that those are lined up as one object. So I'm going to move the circle off. I'm going to highlight this logo, and I'm going to group this right up in here. So I'm going to group these select objects so it sees this as one logo. And now it doesn't matter. So now I'm going to click on the typography portion. I'm going to click on my graphic element, and I'm going to make these line up center on a vertical axis. And I also want them to center on a horizontal axis in there. Now I have my logo and it's nicely centered in there. If I didn't like the way that looked, I could then